Welcome back to Game Crunch, everyone, keeping you up to date with the latest in the video game world. Now, today, we're going to go over a couple of the biggest topics happening today in the gaming space, including, if you've been waiting for Elden Ring Nightreign, well, we've got a release date, as well as a lot of information on what's coming in some of the special editions and deluxe editions. We'll get into that in just a second. And then, we've got some drama going on in the gaming space, a little bit of a war of the CEOs. Ex-CEO of Blizzard Activision, Bobby Kotick, had some pretty strong words to say about the ex-CEO of EA Games. We'll get into that in just a second. But of course, if you like to stay up to date with the latest in the video game world, consider giving Game Crunch a subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And if you like this video, if you find any of this information helpful, please give the video a like. And without further ado, let's get into the biggest topics happening today in the gaming space. So right off the bat, Bandai Namco has confirmed that Elden Ring Nightreign will be launching on May 30th. Unlike the original game's expansive single-player experience, Nightreign shifts towards fast-paced multiplayer action with roguelike elements and a unique three-night survival structure. Players will battle increasingly difficult enemies over the course of 3 in-game nights, culminating in an epic boss fight at the end. The game will be available on PS4, PS5, which kind of surprised me a little bit with PS4, but anyway, Xbox Series XS, and the PC. There will be several editions to choose from as well. You've got the Standard Edition, which is available on all platforms. You've got the Deluxe Edition, which includes a digital art book, soundtrack, and some DLC, I assume which is coming later. You've got the Seekers Edition, so it's a physical edition including a steelbook and additional content. And then on top of that, you've got a Collector's Edition. So this includes all deluxe content, plus a 25-centimeter Wilder Nightfarer statue and a hardcover art book. Ahead of the launch, a network test will run from February 14th to the 16th. That's this weekend, so tell your girlfriends, or your maidens, sorry, that you are busy this weekend. Sorry, maiden, we're busy. No Valentine stuff this weekend. But that's giving select players a chance to experience Nightreign's co-op mechanics firsthand before the game comes out. With Elden Ring's massive success and From Software's track record of delivering intense, high-quality gameplay, Nightreign is shaping up to be a must-play. The question is, will fans embrace the shift to a multiplayer and roguelike mechanics over more of the open world sort of discovery mechanics of Elden Ring? And learning a little bit more about this game from this information, this is kind of where I'm torn. I was very excited for Elden Ring Nightreign because I was actually a huge fan of Elden Ring. I'm not a huge fan of the Souls sort of genre in general, but Elden Ring is definitely the best by far in that franchise. I've literally put hundreds of hours into it, so I mean, at this point, I have to like the game, you know what I mean? But the fact that this game is more of a co-op sort of experience, and it just seems like it's sounding like it's going to be like a montage of just like enemies, waves of enemies, and then a boss sort of thing. I don't know. What I really liked about Elden Ring was more of the exploration and discovery, and being able to go from zone to zone. Man, I always hit this mic every video. Jesus. Anyway, I kind of like the more open world. You know what I mean? I kind of like the discovery. It's cool to play with friends. Maybe I've got a couple buddies, and we've been looking for a good game to play kind of together, and 3 of us. So maybe this is the game. Hey, if you guys watch this video, Elden Ring Nightreign, guys, I don't know. You might have to pick up a PS5, Ben. You might have to pick up a PS5. But anyway, either way, I'm probably gonna check this out. I don't know if I'll have time this weekend to check it out, but I'll kind of see what the reviews are and see. I don't know if this game's gonna be for me. Now, switching gears over to the business side of gaming, so the ex-Blizzard Activision CEO, Bobby Kotick, has now taken a shot at the ex-EA boss, John Riccitiello, basically calling him the worst CEO in all of video games. Now, I gotta say right off the bat, sounds a little rich coming from Kotick, but Kotick made the remark during an interview with venture capital firm Kleiner Perkins, where he shared his thoughts on EA's leadership during one of its most competitive periods in gaming history. He even joked that Activision would have paid for Riccitiello to stay as CEO forever because he believed EA was struggling under his leadership. Riccitiello led EA from 2007 to 2013, a period marked by controversial decisions like the disastrous SimCity 2013 launch, which was plagued by online-only requirements and a lot of server crashes. He also played a key role in EA's battle against Activision's Call of Duty franchise, pushing Battlefield as the direct competitor. The rivalry between the two publishers intensified in 2010 when the Call of Duty creators Jason West and Vince Zampella were fired by Activision and later formed Respawn Entertainment, which went on to create Titanfall, Apex Legends, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. After leaving EA, Risatelio became the CEO of Unity, where he faced further backlash over monetization controversies before stepping down in 2013. Kotick, who left Activision Blizzard in 2023 following Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of the company, has always been a controversial figure himself. Still, his comments on Risatelio highlight the intense rivalries that shaped the gaming industry over the last 2 decades. And honestly, I feel like Bobby Kotick's comments here are a little bit justified. I feel like EA really went through kind of a rough patch in that sort of late 2000s to mid 2000s sort of period, and I feel like some of it probably lingered after John Risatelio even left the company, because you remember there was that Mass Effect Mass Effect Andromeda debacle where that game came out a mess, and then they had all these other games, and I mean, just shovelware sort of same sports games. I mean, they still kind of do that. I mean, they always kind of have, but EA has always been a company that has, it's always really tried to milk us for everything we're worth. And I mean, Activision Blizzard has been no better over the last 10, 15 years. They used to be an excellent company, but hey, I mean, lately it just feels like we're just like, you know, kind of getting boiled by these companies a little bit over time. Like they see what they can get away with. I don't know. I feel like this is kind of just like the pot calling the kettle black, though. And that's all the news I've got for you today, so I want to thank you again tuning into another episode of Game Crunch, and let me know what your thoughts are down below. Do you think Bobby Kotick's comments here on the ex-CEO were justified? And then, you know, I find it a little rich coming from Bobby Kotick in general. And then, of course, let me know what you think about Elden Ring Nightreign. Now, learning a little bit more about the game, does this seem like something you're still going to pick up, something you're going to be interested in? You're going to do the playtest? I don't know, I might check out the playtest. Probably a good time for me to kind of determine if it's worth my money putting into, if I'm not a huge enjoyer of these games in general, and this game seems to be just like all of the things that I'm not that into. You know, the boss fights are fun sometimes, but I mean, when you're dying over and over and over and over again for an hour to just like, I don't know, learning dodge timing, it just kind of gets a little bit tiresome. But of course, if you missed yesterday's news, I'm going to put a video over here and another video you might like over here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.